Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and we'd love to welcome you into a very special Bookelicious PopUp Shop's launch party webinar created especially for you, the educators who will be hosting or are considering hosting a pop-up shop over this school year. We are grateful you are here to learn more, and we really hope this experience supports the incredible work you do for your students, schools, families, and communities. My name is Eliza Werner, and I'm the Professional Learning and Social Media Manager at Bookelicious. My colleague Stephanie Hartman, our Logistics and Special Projects Manager, will be joining me shortly to take you through the pop-ups journey. For those of you engaging with Bookelicious for the first time, we're excited to collaborate with you. Bookelicious is an online children's bookseller offering book collections, programs, and events for students, educators, and families that engage and energize readers. Our literacy resource platform leverages innovative technology, expert curation, and fun to match students with books they truly want to read. And that cultivates reader identity and agency. Access to our website, bookelicious.com, is free, and our approach is research-based. Our collection of titles is diverse and inclusive, and our cutting-edge platform has been used by thousands of schools nationwide. At its core, Bookelicious is a discovery tool that helps children discover great books, discover themselves as readers, and discover a love of reading. Today, our pop-up shop's journey starts in the exact same place it will start for you and for your school, with your students. So imagine with me, there's a child walking into their library or a bookstore, and they're told to go find a book. Well, that can be a really overwhelming experience of where to start and how to navigate the space and thousands of books. Well, that's where the Bookelicious magic begins. Next slide. What sets us apart from every other bookshop and literacy service is that we engage and support readers from the very beginning. And it all starts with creating a Bookmoji. It's an avatar that represents who you are, how you look, what you like, your interests, hobbies, pets, and they can be both real and aspirational to get book matched, guiding readers towards books they will actually want to read. Right now, you're looking at several different Bookmoji examples. Students choose everything: their eye and hair color, their face shape, their hairstyle, and skin color. Then they choose outfits, accessories, and adaptive features like eyeglasses. After that, the possibilities are truly endless. Students choose assets like pets and other animals, activities, hobbies, handheld items, and more. And when the student is done building their Bookmoji, our technology populates a bookshelf full of books that correlate to the assets that the student chose. So, for example, a soccer ball asset would match students with books about athletes, soccer players, the World Cup, or fictional books in which the character is a soccer player or plays soccer with their school team. You can see more examples, lots of examples on this slide, like the astronaut. This Bookmoji is going to be matched up with nonfiction and fiction books about space and about science and STEM and biographies on astronauts. Possibilities are endless. We've got a gamer, an adventurer, a chef, and so many more possibilities. So let's actually see what the Bookmoji building process looks like. You'll see a Bookmoji building video in front of you. It's sped up just to save a little time, but this is our Bookmoji. This is Luna, and she is building her Bookmoji, and you can see that she is picking different assets, including how her hair looks, even what color her hair is. Maybe she has brown hair, but today she wants to be pink. She's also going to choose her outfit. So you can see she's trying on several different pieces, shirts and pants and dresses, lots of different things. She's settled on a shirt, which she has customized to be green, and it has a cat on there. She's also putting some things on her head. She could try helmets or crowns or tiaras or fun headbands. And you can see that she has settled on the cute little bug antenna. She even chose the color of the headband, so it's super customizable. Luna wears glasses, and so she's going to pick glasses that fit the ones that she actually wears, or maybe some that she thinks just look great on her Bookmoji. And she picks the color as well. You can see she is picking things that are handheld or things that are around her. She picked a necklace, and now she has a book in her hand. And now she gets to add all the other assets. She's looking for some animals, and it looks like she found a cat. I'm getting the feeling that Luna likes cats, so she might get some book recommendations that have to do with cats. You can see she picked a frog who's crooning into a microphone. Maybe she just likes frogs. And she's got a dinosaur. So you can see some things are real and some are aspirational. Kids can be as creative as they want to be. She's adding other assets like the soccer ball and her bookshelf, and she settles on a bicycle. When she's done building and she's happy with it, she presses that save button, and then she gets her final reveal, and you can see that bookshelf that populates all the way at the top. That bookshelf, every single book on there correlates to things that Luna has chosen to put in her Bookmoji. So you can see that she chose a cat. Maybe she has a pet cat. Maybe she wants a cat. Maybe she just likes cats. She has a cat on her shirt. So you can see that there's some different books that matched up. We've got Pete the cat and Splat the cat and other things with animals and cats. We also have her bicycle that she chose. Maybe she likes to go out riding, or maybe she really wants a bicycle. That bicycle correlates with one of those books. You can see the magical yet all the way to the right. The magical yet has a lot to do with adventuring and exploring, and there's a bicycle in there as well. Remember that soccer ball that I mentioned? Luna picked a soccer ball. There it is. And it got matched up, you can tell, with one of the books called The Banana Leaf Ball. So lots of recommendations that help Luna to make a choice on where she wants to start looking for books. This is only a starting point for students, and it's a really effective one as it speaks to their interests and to their identities. So they can explore these specific books on their bookshelf, or explore the topics, series, authors, and more while browsing and selecting books. Now, as a former classroom teacher, I would have loved to have a tool like this for my students. It's a scaffolded reading experience that teaches students how to confidently self-select books and really considers what motivates them to want to engage in reading. Now, what if students could choose these books, families could buy these books, and schools could benefit from that? Well, all these dreams come true with Bookelicious pop-up shops. At this time, I'd love to welcome in my colleague Stephanie. She's a fellow educator, and I know for sure that she would have loved to utilize Bookmojis and pop-up shops when she was teaching. Hi, Steph, welcome in.
Everyone. I would have loved to have this in my classroom. One of the big things that I used to do when I was teaching was we'd have a topic that we were teaching about, and then I would bring books from the library. But I never really was sure if the kids wanted to read those topics, or if there was something else that they were interested in that I could bring into my classroom library that I just didn't have. This would have been a great way with the Bookmoji to look at that data, to know what my kids are interested in, and then make sure that they're able to read those books and I have them at the ready during class time. So this Bookmoji is so powerful in what it allows it to happen. And then if we think about pop-ups, the idea that I could take that into something that families could purchase that could give back to my school, how incredible.
That sounds incredible. And we know as educators that that just shortens the time that you get to know your readers and what they really want to read, because they have to want to read to actually really continue that into being a lifelong reader. So I want to know how pop-up shops work, and I know you are the expert, Steph, so take it away.
So pop-ups are a virtual fundraising experience where students engage with the Bookmoji, they learn and foster this reading identity, and it supports your school community. So one of the big benefits is that during a pop-up, any purchases that are made, you get 20% back in Bookelicious Credit to the school. And we also offer a coupon code that can be used year-round with the school to then get 10% back on any purchases made on the Bookelicious site. So what students do during a pop-up is they create their Bookmoji, they look at their book recommendations, they search through the site, and they add those books to their book bags. Families make those purchases with a unique QR code that is linked to each student, and then schools get those benefits. Now, when we think about pop-ups, they're a little bit different than maybe book fairs or other fundraisers that you won or have run for different reasons. So first, participation is free. There's no minimum purchases. What's nice is that it's a fully online experience. So there's no setup, there's no inventory. We're handling the logistics around the money, and we're handling the logistics around shipping and managing the orders that are coming in. So that also leads to, we have this beautiful universe of books that educators can customize. So we have, in a normal book fair, you might have 200 to 500 different titles. In this case, we have 5,000 different titles that are available, and they are really connected to those assets like we were talking about. And it's also customizable. So you can think about your community, what your community needs, look at that title list and decide what titles you want to include into this book universe so that they are available for your families to purchase. When we think about pop-ups, it's really set up in 4 different categories. Or 4 different phases. So we have first the setup phase, right? So you pick your dates, you decide when you want to run this. Normally we have them run from a Friday to Friday. The idea is that you send invitations home on Fridays for purchases to start happening. They have that Friday, the weekend, and then the next week to actually finish making those purchases at home. Once you decide what dates that you want to pick, you're going to be sent this digital launch kit. And in your digital launch kit, you'll have information like very specifically, what are the steps, how to use the site, those kinds of things, lesson plans if you want to know how to introduce the Bookmoji or browsing to your students, marketing materials like letters home and social posts that you can use and adapt for your school, and then more information on the Bookelicious promotional credits, how you can use them and what you get, how you can use them and how you can view them, that kind of stuff. Finally, you also have the options to do that pick your title like I was talking about. So if you want to use the 5,000 book universe as is, great. If you would like to do some customization, then this is the time that you would do it. You'd look at the title list, and then you could make some customizations based on your school community. During this time, we also connect with your district through Clever. So we're able to roster all of your students through Clever, and that Clever connection then make sure that you have accounts, your students have accounts, and everyone is set up and ready to go to actually make their Bookmojis. So after we have that setup phase, thinking about a month before the pop-up actually happens, before you're actually sending the invitations home, before families are making purchases, students are making Bookmojis in the school. So they're Bookmoji building, and you are promoting. When you're thinking about promoting, you could use stuff from our digital launch kit. You could do an all call, class dojo, Schoolology, Seesaw, social media, any ways that you can get it involved that parents and families know that, you're going to be having this fundraiser, they're going to be purchasing books, and they're going to be having this really amazing experience learning about their reading identity at the same time. So let's look at the kid site so I can show you when I'm talking about Bookmoji building, what that looks like for a kid and how it looks on their when they sign in. So this is a test student. His name is Romeo, and Romeo has already made a Bookmoji. So as you can see, the kid site is set up to be Bookmoji centered around the Bookmoji themselves and the actual recommendations that they've made. So here is Romeo's Bookmoji. Here are the books that have been recommended to him based on his Bookmoji. And what Romeo can do is he can say, oh man, I see a book that I'm really interested in, this Gather Round book. If he clicks on it, it gives him the option to add it to his pop-up. So if it's a book that he's ready to read, he wants it, he can directly add it to his pop-up, meaning it goes to his book bag, and it's a book that when his parents view the QR code or family views the QR code, they can purchase it. So he might be like, wow, I really love this book, but I also am interested in similar books. When they have this detail page, it also connects them down here to books that are similar in that way. So he could find other outdoor and survival stories. So he might say, oh, I want a book that's like this. And he can go to this category and he can see, wow, I found some other books that I think are really interesting and I would like those as well. So that's one way that students can, oh, looks like my bag was full. So let me go back a second. So they can add from here. Another way that students can browse for books outside of just their book recommendations is we have categories up at the top. So these categories up here, they can click into and they can see different topics within those categories. So if I'm in histories and biographies, I can see, art and music biographies, history, STEM biographies, and go into these different categories and find more books that are interesting to me. Or I can actually search for something. So for example, maybe he's really into Dogman. So let's search for Dogman. And you can see that what will pop up is books, like the exact books, or the series, or they can go to actual search results. So if he goes to the search results, something I want to note is that right now, there's not actually the book Dogman that's viewable. And what that has to do with is when a Bookmoji is being made, we take into consideration, one, the student's interests, but also their current grade level. So he's currently a first grade student. So the books that are showing to him are kinder and first grade level books. So while Dogman itself isn't showing, it's showing books that are related to Dogman, maybe by Dave Pilkey, maybe in a similar style. If he wants that book specifically, he might have to change his grade level. So in this case, if he changes to second and third, actual Dogman will pop up. So if students are having an issue finding an exact book, the issue might be that it's in a different grade level than they are actually in. So they might have to change their grade level over here on the side. So now let's say he's picked some books, he's ready. He's like, yeah, I'm happy. I know what books I want. Let's look at his actual book bag. So the book bag is like a shopping cart and it has the books that he has added. So now he can arrange them the way that he wants. If this is the book that he likes the most, he can kind of move it up to the top and rearrange them as he sees fit, kind of ranking them. They can also remove books from here. So if there's a book that they don't want anymore, they want to add something else, they can remove them as well. What's also nice is there's the printable invitation. So if a student, for some reason, loses their invitation, they can download it as a PDF here. It also makes it shareable for families. So if families would like to share with grandparents or friends, they have the ability to download it as a PDF, and then they can share it through email or whatever method that they print it, whatever they think is best. So the student experience is really built around this idea of finding books using the Bookmoji, using browsing, and it's pretty simple so that that experience is focused on the book finding for students. If we go back, then after that month where students have made their Bookmojis, they browse for books, we get into step 3. So step 3 is where the pop-up is actually happening. You are printing the invitations, you're sending them home, and families get to shop. This is what the invitation actually looks like. So each student will get an invitation that is specific to them, has their name on it, it has their Bookmoji, and it has a unique QR code that goes directly to their checkout. So their book bag is what will appear when somebody uses a QR reader to look at this QR code. This is an example of what it will look like on a phone. So when they scan the QR code, the checkout process will open. They can add books by adding them here with this little plus sign. And then when they're ready, they can go to check out. When they check out, they'll have a couple options. It's like very similar to any e-purchasing experience you've had on any website. But we have a couple options for payment. So Venmo, Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards. And that allows them the flexibility to choose how they would like to purchase it. Like we said before, you're not actually handling the money. The money comes through the site. So there's no money exchange that you have to deal with during this book fair experience. So now let's kind of look at what the educator site looks like right here. So if you're an educator and you're the pop-up administrator in this case, or ambassador, you would open up your site and it looks a little bit different than the kids site because it has different functionalities. When a pop-up is happening, you're going to have a banner at the top. And when you click on that banner, it's going to open up. Give my computer a second. And it's going to be a dashboard. So basically this dashboard is going to give you information on what classrooms are connected, who's made choices so far, who's made any purchases so far. And then that will be used to help you view what's happening during your pop-up time. So we have the classrooms, the students, how many book choices have been made. You'll see the percentage of choices to actual purchases that's happening here. And this will be a link to see your Bookelicious give back credit. So that 20% that we were talking about, you will be able to see it in real time, how much you're getting back in Bookelicious credit. It's a test account, so it's not actually going to work at this point. But on yours, it will be a link to so that you can actually view what your credit is. If we go down here, you can see the actual classrooms. So if you have a classroom that's grayed out, that means that nobody's made any book choices yet. But if you have classrooms that are black like this, that means that they are ready, their choices have been made, and students have been putting books in their book bag. You can see each of the classrooms here. You can see how many students are in them, how many book choices have been made. And from here is where you actually print those invitations. So you can print the invitations by class as opposed to printing them individually. So let's look at an example. So here we see the invitation, what it looks like. We have the students, they have their individualized QR code, and it just prints off each student page by page. If you want to know a little bit more about what's happening with each student, you can click into the classroom themselves, and it will show you any bookmojis that have been made, any book choices that have been made. And here you can also individually print off the invitation in case a kid comes and they're like, "Miss, I lost it. I don't know what to do." Here, instead of having to go through the whole list of the class, you can print individual ones as well. So this gives you kind of an insight into what has been happening, what choices kids are making, and just like a viewpoint into your pop-up experience. So that's the quick of what actually happens for you during the pop-up. It gives that kind of oversight. And then we have the delivery. So after the pop-up closes and about a month later, your books will arrive. During that time, about a week or so after, you're going to get a financial recap. In that financial recap, you'll have information on how many books were purchased, how many total purchases were made, and then how much you're getting back in Bookelicious credit based on that 20% during the pop-up time. You'll also get the code then that you can share with families in your community to get the 10% back year-round. Like I said, with delivery, the books will actually arrive about a month after the pop-up closes, and they will be packaged by student and by classroom. What I mean by that is that each student's books will be in a bag, and in that bag, they will have the books themselves and an insert, and that insert will say the student's name, they'll say what books they've purchased, so that it's easy for you to pass out to each individual student. They will also be boxed by classroom, meaning that students that are in the same class will be boxed together. There'll be a sticker on the box with the actual teacher's name. And if there are multiple boxes for that teacher, it will say 1 of 2, or however many boxes are for that teacher themselves. The idea is that for you, it's really easy to get those books passed out as soon as they arrive at your school. So all that being said, this is how our pop-up experience works. We have these 4 phases that move from setup to Bookmoji building, promoting, shopping, and delivery. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for you with as maximum benefit. So if you have any more questions related to pop-ups, we have our website, which has a great Q&A section to it. You can always email us at popupshops@bookelicious.com, or you can call us at this number.
Thank you so much, Steph. It's so exciting to see all the possibilities that pop-up shops can bring to schools and families, and of course to the students themselves who are picking out books. We had some questions in the chat as we went. Hopefully we answered those questions. And of course, if you want to know more, Steph has that information on the screen. You can reach out to us in whatever method you prefer. Go ahead, check out that webpage too, because there's a lot of FAQs at the bottom that can answer some questions, and we are here to facilitate that process for us. If there's any more questions, drop them in the chat as we wrap up here. Hopefully we can answer those live. And of course, once we sign off, feel free to reach out to me or Steph or to Pop-Up Shops, and we will be sure to connect you to the correct person to help you start pop-up shops this fall. Well, it looks like we answered all the questions, so we're going to send everybody on their way. And thank you so much for being here. Steph, thank you so much for walking us through this process. It makes me so excited. It makes me want to be back in the classroom and having a pop-up shop myself. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we hope to see you for a pop-up soon. Bye, everyone.